Hello there, my YouTube family. How are you? And my Instagram family. I am Helen Sattler, your destiny helper, coming to you once again with a video that many of you have wrote me and emailed me about. And I am more than happy to answer those emails with this video. This video will minister to you and strengthen many of you, especially in the relationships that you are going through. Many of you are going through very difficult relationships, and these are relationships that are not normal relationships and unusual relationship. Narcissist is a very difficult relationship to have, and most people don't understand the nexus of a narcissist and the relationship with a narcissist. So I am here to answer your questions, and I want you to keep writing me and emailing me about the different topics you have. What happens when the narcissists want to do emotional starvation and you are going to great turmoil? Emotional starvation is when the narcissist deprive you of himself. You are very addicted to the narcissist. And when you are addicted to someone, it's like a drug. And this drug gives an intense craving where you would delete everything else to get this satisfaction. And emotional starvation is like a drug addict without drugs. Narcissists build such relationship, first of all, with love bombing. The love bombing is so tremendous. It encaptures all of your senses, your mind, your will, your emotions. All of it is laid captive in the love bombing, because the love bombing demonstrates the narcissist in the desire of what you want. The narcissists have instigated and investigated all of your emotions just to see where they are. And when you are being love bombed, that can take from 3 to 6 months and sometimes even a year just for the narcissist to get you to the point of where he wants you to be. All of that engagement was to bring you to an addiction on that narcissist, where they are everything you ever want to be, and you wonder how they got away so long. Why didn't anybody capture you? And so this narcissist will make you feel that they never found anyone to love them, anyone to care for them, and you are the perfect one. And they will tell you they've never felt like this about anyone, but there's something different about this relationship. This relationship, it moves fast. It moves with tremendous speed. You give everything like a normal relationship that takes time to build. This is not the relationship being with a narcissist. You build it fast. It seems right fast. They seem everything you want real fast. The love bombing is absolutely platinum. You get the platinum package. That means that you have engaged the narcissist with everything. So whatever supply that the narcissist has on the line is now being discarded. It is now being placed on hold, or they have a shelf life. So those relationships, because the narcissist is spending so much time with you, bringing you in, cultivating you, wanting you to just be connected to them. They are very attentive to you. At this time, when you text the narcissist, you get an immediate response. You call the narcissist, you get an immediate response. But if you would notice, the narcissist doing the love bombing is training you to time and training you to respect that time. The narcissist will give you a time. They're going to call you. The narcissist will tell you to make sure you be there. If you are 2 minutes late for that time and not respond to that text, I mean, the narcissists have a whole hoopla about it. They make you feel very uncomfortable. And see, you don't realize that you are being wheeled in, that you're being wheeled into this addiction. And you find yourself loving the narcissist with everything you have. And this is not like any other relationship you've had. And you notice the difference. And the narcissist start training you with a time schedule to be called at this time, to be contacted at this time. They will flood you with all kind of pictures. I mean, they're sending you picture after picture after picture after picture. No matter where they go, you get the picture. No matter where they go, you get the text. No matter where they go, you get a phone call. And the narcissists make you feel that you are number uno, that you are number one. So you slowly getting engrafted into the narcissist grip, because when the narcissists grip you, and think about it, if you take 3 months love bombing someone, 6 months love bombing someone, or some of you has even take a year, where it took the narcissist 1 year to totally capture you the way they wanted to. And the longer it takes for you to love bomb, for the love bombing to pull you in, that is going to be the measure of the torture you receive for making the narcissist work so hard. 3 months to 6 months is all they want to take to wheel in a supply. And most women, they go to women that are very successful. They go to very powerful women. Some narcissists, and that's usually the upper mid or the greater narcissists, want power, or the somatic narcissists want beauty, or the malignant narcissists want control. So these narcissists come in with this invasion into your emotional territory, and they take and capsize everything else. And you notice they talk about, when they first meet you, they want to talk about other people that you've been with, if your husband is there, what happened to the relationship. And there are some narcissists that specifically go after married women, and they go after married women because it's a competition. That's the competitive narcissist. They want to tear down everything you have in a ranking order, and they want to supply themselves in that order. And every time you get rid of someone, the narcissists think that I am number one, that they're going to engraft me in, and the narcissists win. And because the narcissist is so competitive, the narcissist wins you over, because first of all, there is a different relationship with the narcissist than with your husband. Even though you may love your husband, they have a different personality. NPD have certain characteristics. As I keep coming on, we'll talk about those characteristics that the narcissist has had. So emotional starvation. Anytime you starve something, you have to not feed it. And when you fail to feed, it starts losing its weight, losing its nutrients, losing its muscle mass. And so that's what happened to you emotionally. The narcissist love bomb you, he captures you, he gets you in emotionally, he just totally flatters you with himself. That's your reward for yielding in the love bombing. And then all of a sudden, he starts subtracting himself. And it's not an immediate subtraction. He gradually subtracts himself, because he don't want to just totally pull himself back. He want to make sure the foundation he built with you emotionally is totally laid, totally substantiated, totally feel, where you are looking to the narcissist for everything. The narcissist has started the process of isolation, and usually he isolates you, she isolates you from everybody, because to control the item, you got to bring them out of the mass. You got to bring them into where you can handle them. You got to bring them into a place where they start looking to you. And they would even substitute a lot of Christians who met narcissists. The narcissists would even start substituting your relationship with God. What happened, they gradually embed themselves in the place where God is. And if you pray and if you fast, they start implementing themselves into that pocket space. And so now you're not praying like you should. Now you're not fasting like you should. Why? Because your mind is engrafted on the narcissist. And the narcissists know how to transcribe your mind, how to write themselves on the thickets of your mind, and how to translate that out of the emotional path of your heart, of your deepest passion. And as you start to surrender to the narcissist now, in order to keep that control, they need to trauma bond. Trauma bond, they need to bond you to trauma so you can get used to their failures, because they know their failures. You don't know their failures. The narcissists start getting you used to their failures. And some of you wonder, what happened? Everything went well. Everything was going good. He was calling me. And then all of a sudden, Southern, he doesn't call anymore. They doesn't text. And when they text, they're one-liners. They're two-liners. And then when you call, it's a little bit longer now to get you. And what happens is the narcissists start pulling themselves away because you are getting ready to go on an emotional starvation diet. An emotional starvation diet is to take your strength away, to take the mass away. And as you are big, they take away the mass of your emotions. They're taking away your strength. So you're not getting the nourishment emotionally that you were getting before. You're not getting the time that cater to you emotionally. And once your emotions have been tapped into, they use that to process into your thought realm. And when they process into your thought realm, you are thinking of them over and over. See, in the beginning of the love bombing, they got that wheel to turn like a hamster, and they got themselves in your mind where you're turning them over and over and over. And then to connect the call, they take the tangibility with the imaginable. Then they take the location of a place. They start taking you to a location of a place, even if it's a spot in your mind. And they do that with the law of continuum, because what you do on a continuous basis register as a pattern. What you do as a pattern is registered as a habit. You keep having a habit, it registers as a lifestyle. Now you identify the lifestyle as a personality. You are making it personal. And so you make the narcissist personal. They're moving themselves away. You're kicking and screaming, trying to figure out what happened. Why did they move away? What did I do? You cannot think of anything you've done, and guess what? You didn't do anything. The narcissists move away because you are in training. You are in training to be psychologically, physiological. You are being training to have all of your aspiration, all of your desires connected to this narcissist, because to have the kind of control they need, because the narcissists feel that you should feel entitled to them, that you should feel privileged, because the narcissists feel entitled about everything they do. They feel like whatever they do, you should be really thankful to have them, because they are so special, because they have an object of grandiosity. They are before anything, even before your God. And that's where many Christians have fallen, connected with a spiritual narcissist who have a form of godliness but deny the power thereof. And then there's this little red flag on the inside of you that keep going off, but you don't know exactly what it is. You just know that something isn't right, but you can't put your hand on it. You know, maybe I should back up because it doesn't feel right, but you're already addicted. And so you give excuses for why you need to keep going. And then after a while, you get afraid that if I don't move in and do what the narcissist wants me to do, somebody is going to get him. Somebody is going to get her. I don't want her to be taken away. I don't want him to be taken away. Then now you're on an emotional starvation process where he's starving you. And then just when you're fed up and you tired, he come back in with a love bombing. This throws your system, your mind, your emotions, your thought, your will out of whack, because now you're confused. 1 minute you love me, the next minute you hate me. The 1 minute you want me with you, the next minute you can't stand to be around me. 1 minute you're running home, the next minute I'm calling saying, well, where are you? And the narcissist, in this time, the love bombing, 3 to 6 months, someone will even marry their supply. They don't love their supply. They're not submitted with their supply. They're not planning to be faithful with their supply. And even in marriage, you go through emotional starvation. You go through the same process that the other supplies go through. It's just that now you have been made a primal supply. You are the primary source. And being the primary source, you get all of the time that other folk don't get, but you also get more torture because you have more time with the narcissist. And remember one thing, the narcissist can't love you. That's this little thing in their brain that doesn't register right. They have no empathy. They have no love. They want everything they want when they want it. And they only want you to train. The covert charming narcissist win you over, because he's charming to you when he get it, and he's charming to you outside, and he's hellacious when they're at home. The narcissist, these are difficult relationships, and these narcissists they don't see a reason to change. They see a reason for you to change. Anything go wrong, you get blamed. Anything needs to happen, they want you to do it. Why? Because the narcissist cast off any kind of responsibility and labor, and they cast that off to you. And so in this emotional starvation, guess what happens to you? You start to get desperate. You start to undermine yourself. You start to delete everything you can delete to find out what you did wrong. And the narcissist will say, you don't love me. You have given everything but your gums. Even your teeth are gone. But the narcissist will tell you, you don't love me. You don't care for me. That is because in the starvation process, they need to break you down. The more powerful you are, the more intricate the process, the more you accelerate, and you are thinker, because if some narcissists get a cerebral individual where they are not catered in on emotions, but they are really thinkers, and they think. And what the narcissist does with a thinker is get in their soul, get in their thought realm, and they place themselves in your thought realm, and they channel the thought of themselves. And so they are very repetitive. If you notice, the narcissist is very scheduled, they're very repetitive, and they hardly ever break a cycle when they have you in training. They are on time. I mean, their time, the only time they are late is when they want to be. And after if they start to discard or they start to devaluation, they're never going to be on time. But when they're in the love bombing stage, because you are being transcribed and being trained, then they are on time. They are at your every whim. But in the starvation, they start to be absent. They start to neglect you. And what you will find, they're very flirtatious to your friends. They're very flirtatious to your friends. And you're wondering, why don't the narcissists love me? Hello, coaching spirits. Hello, Ernestine. How are you? And you say, why don't the narcissists care about me? Why don't they love me? I'm doing everything. And you feel so empty, because in the love bombing, they took all of it to bring it into a compoundment called commitment and devotion. And if you don't watch the narcissist, they want to bring you into a place of worship. The narcissist, through emotional starvation, going to the breaking mechanism. If you withstand, because you're being tested to see how much you can stand in the trauma, because they're going to bond you to that trauma. And if you can't endure and you can't stand the pressure, the narcissist will discard. When the narcissist is trying to make primal or a prime supply, that prime supply, a main supply has to be able to stand pain, because they're going to give it to you. They're going to bring it to you. You're not going to have loyalty. You're going to be triangulated. They're going to discard. They're going to leave. They're going to ghost. And during this time in the love phase, when they was taking you to the idealization point, where they was idolizing you, bringing you, building you, and they even gave you a dream world. As a matter of fact, the world they gave you during the love bombing, it was all an alternate reality. None of it was real. From the point of I love you, I need you, none of it was real. And then you start seeing things come out when the mask starts slipping off, and then the emotional starvation, the mask come off, and you see the indignant, malignant, selfish, self-centered, unaccountable narcissist. And guess what? You are addicted and you are hooked. And when you want to come out, they switch the gears and go back into the love bombing stage. That's why many of you, where the narcissist left you, now they're wanting to hoover you. Starvation, emotional starvation, is to take away everything or every right you think you have. They want the emotions to stay there. They only want to take away your rights. They only want to take away what you expect for them to give, because now you start expecting things. That's when the narcissist takes it away. She said, yes, my next wanted, she said, my next wanted me to look at him as my God. She said, and when I stopped placing him first, my abuse was more horrible. Absolutely, absolutely right. You know why? Because coaching spirits, they have to be first. They have to be first. And if you don't put them first, there is just so much hell. And those of you who are really strong, you done been through stuff, you done calibrated, and you have a strength about you. And when you have that strength about you, the narcissist would take more time with you. You are the 6 month to the year love bombing because you don't break down so easy. And then you seem to bounce back when you see things and you start to question things. Well, if that narcissist sees fit, because there's some supply, the narcissists don't want to deal with it. So they just drop it. They discard it altogether. They don't even give a hoover for that. She said, I really experience hell. Coaching spirits, absolutely, because that's what the narcissist does. That's their nature. And the narcissists give you hell because they can't get their way. And when you are trauma bond with trauma, when you're trauma bonding supply, you got to take them through pain. You got to take them through hell. But what you got to do is to make sure that when you take them through that hell, they come running back. That's why there are some women, the more you hurt them, they come running back. They are addicted to trauma. And coaching spirits, that's what they wanted. They wanted you addicted to the trauma. And you couldn't be addicted to the trauma because sometimes there is what can I say? There's a strength in us, a tenacity that rise above measure, that just when we get ready to get broken, the fight happens within us. And if you don't get out of that zone and you recognize that you are being in harm's way, you have to make some skilled decisions, strategic decisions about your location. And if you don't move in that location or that strategy that come to you, what you're going to find yourself is now you're looking at months and years. And before you know it, you're 5 years, you're 10 years into a relationship that never ever will give back to you. It will never ever cater to you. You will find yourself in an emotional starvation zone. What is the purpose of emotional starvation? Well, it's the narcissist training ground. They train you to stay when you should leave. They train you to want what you should hate. In the narcissist world, it's the opposite of truth. It's the opposite of life. So coaching spirits, that's why you went through what you went through. She said, I went supernova and now learn more about being an empath. She said, yes, I plan to move. Yes, being a super empath and especially supernova. Supernova is a contingency that needs to be well thought out. As much power as you release, that's how much time it takes for you to recover. And a skilled narcissist would get a super empath to use supernova, and then they attack them because you cannot bounce back. It's not an immediate bounce back. And that attack will leave you in a slave state where you are having almost impossibilities of recovery. So use that very wisely. And when you use it, you need to be planning a strategy to keep yourself out of harm's way. Well, I pray that this video has really helped you. I really want you all to keep writing. This is my first time doing this live on Instagram, even though I do it on YouTube. And I am so glad that you joined me. I am Helen Sattler. I am your destiny helper. And it was such a pleasure and such an honor to bring this teaching. I'm going to bring more teachings to you. Instagram, expect me, Coaching Spirits. And those of you who join me on Instagram, I expect to see you. You can write me at destinyhelper12s@gmail.com, and you can put your questions and I can personally answer your questions. And I want you to know that you are stronger than what you think. But when strategy comes and you get red flags, don't ignore them. The best time of any victory is in its initial state when the trauma have not rooted. The more the trauma root, the deeper you have to go for freedom. And so freedom can occur initially when you first get the first whim. You need to get a strategy to protect your emotions and to protect yourself. And you cannot stay in an infested zone of disease and expect to be healed. You have to get out of that perimeter into a place where wholeness can come. And I pray that I've answered your questions. I want you to subscribe to my YouTube channel, and that is Helen Sattler, Destiny Helper. Helen Sattler, Destiny Helper. Like and share the page. Somebody else need what you have. And I want you to know I am so grateful for you being with me. And remember, we don't just survive, we thrive, because the greatest person in you has yet to be, but it's on the way. I love you, and I'll see you on my next video. God bless you. All right, YouTube, love you, and I'll see you on my next video. Don't forget to write me, Destiny Helper 12s@gmail.com. Make sure you like and share the page. Someone needs this information. Let's give it to them. And subscribe to my YouTube channel. I love you, love you, love you. And believe me, we don't just survive, we thrive, because the best you has yet to be, but it will. I'll see you on the next video. God bless you.